Good morning, students. Welcome to our science class. Today we are going to discuss chapter number 7th of class 5th. The name of the chapter is Adaptation in Animals. Now you must know what is adaptation. You might have heard the word adapt. Let's take an example. We all are living in India. So our body has adapted to its climate, like we don't feel much hot, much cold. Now suppose you are shifted to Siberia, their climate is too cold. At first you will find some sort of difficulty while living at that place, but eventually when you start living there, your body will adapt to that cold climatic condition. This is what adaptation is. It means we are adjusting according to the climatic conditions. So, in this chapter, as we have to discuss the adaptation in certain animals, so we'll be discussing these. The meaning of adaptation, I hope it's clear to all. It means we are adjusting to our surroundings according to the climatic conditions. Our body adapts to that particular climate. So moving further, you might have heard this term habitat. I hope all of you might know this. So what is it? Habitat is a place where a plant or animal live. Further, we have two types. The very first one is terrestrial habitat. The next one is aquatic habitat. So coming to terrestrial habitat. The plants and animals that live on land are said to live in terrestrial habitat. The terrestrial word means what? It means land. Terrestre, it means land. So certain examples are, the very first one is a forest, next one is sandy desert, then we have grasslands. Next one is aquatic habitat, the place, or you can say the plants and animals that live in water. The place where plants and animals live in water are said to live in an aquatic habitat. Certain examples are lakes, rivers, oceans. So the basic difference between these two is terrestrial habitat means the place, or you can say the plants and animals that live on land are said to live where? They are said to live in the terrestrial habitat. And aquatic habitat, it's the plants and animals that live in water are said to live in aquatic habitat. Let's move further. Now one interesting fact is there. What is that? Some animals such as owls, bats, lories, nightjars, birds are adapted to being active at night. They are adapted to be active at night. Such animals are called as nocturnal animals. Nocturnal animals means animals that are active during night time. So the example you might have also heard about owls. Next, the topic is how do animals adapt themselves to live in their habitat. As we have discussed earlier also, it is what? It is the adaptation. What does adaptation mean? It means the body features, habits that help animal to live comfortably in their habitat are called adaptations. Means we have a certain features of a body, like fish. It lives in water. What makes it live in water? It has a streamlined body. And certain habits, like it has fins, that we'll be discussing later. So these are the features and habits that help animal to live comfortably in their habitat. These are called as adaptations. Now some people have myth that habitat is a large area of a land or a water, but it's actually not. Even a small puddle of rainwater or the land below a tree can be the habitat of some living organism. It means every organism on the earth needs some sort of a place to live, and that place where they live, that is known as their habitat. It's their habitat. Next we'll learn how some animals are adapted to live in their habitat. There are certain features, as we have discussed, their habits, that we are going to discuss one by one. We'll discuss about the animals living in very cold region, in deserts how they live, then in open grasslands, then water, fish, what are the adaptations in fish that help it to live in that particular place. The very first we are going to discuss is animals that live in very cold region. The very known and basic example is of polar bear. So what are its features that help it to live in water, that we are going to discuss. Its body is covered with thick layer of fur. Means it has a thick layer. It does not have like a simple thin layer. It has a thick layer of a fur that covers its body. Sole of its feet have fur. Again, fur, where it is present? It is present beneath its feet, the sole part. So it helps it to walk on cold and slippery ice. The next one is thick layer of fat below its skin help it to live at that particular place. Now, one more important and interesting features they have, these polar bears. Can you guess? Yes, they sleep for nearly 18 to 20 hours every day. This long sleep helps them to reduce the intake of food when the food is extremely scarce. Scarce means it is less in amount. When the food is less, they don't have the food to eat. They just sleep during that period of time. When you are sleeping, obviously you won't eat anything. You will be busy in sleeping only. So due to that reason, when there is a shortage of food, they just sleep. The next one is they are good swimmers. They can swim also. Further, we have adaptation in animals living in mountains. Animals living in mountains are adapted to live in cold weather with less air. Means they need less air. As we go up on the mountains, you know this thing, you might have read in your geography that the level of the air gets decreased. So at mountains there is a less air. So these animals have adapted themselves to live in cold weather with less air. Certain examples are yaks, snow leopards, llama, mountain goats. Next one is also they have a thick layer of hair. Actually it's very cold. The thick layer of hair prevent them from the cold conditions. Moreover, they have more red blood cells in their blood that help them to obtain enough oxygen from the air. So there will be no scarcity of oxygen. Further, we have adaptation in desert animals. All of you might be knowing the king of the desert is camel only. So it has long eyelashes to protect their eyes from strong sandy winds. Eyelashes they have long. Next is excess amount of food is stored in hump as fat. Means whenever they get food, they often store it in their hump in the form of fats they store. And whenever they feel hungry, they can use that food. When they don't have any sort of food, they use that food from their hump. Then they have thick skin that protects the body from immense heat. In deserts, you know what is their heat. So they have thick skin that help them to prevent from immense heat. Next they have long legs that keeps their body away from the hot sand. In deserts hot sand is there, so their legs are tall, so the heat will not reach their body easily. Next one is they have large padded feet that help them in walking on soft and loose sand. They have padded feet that helps them to move easily on that sand. Toes are joined together to prevent sinking into the sand. So their toes are made in such a form that they don't sink, they don't penetrate inside the sand. Nostrils can be opened and closed at will. Whenever they want to open, whenever they want to close, they can do with their own will. What is the benefit of this? This protects them during the sandstorms. So it helps them to prevent this. Next we have further adaptation in animals living in open grasslands. Examples: lion, deer, how they live. They have the strong legs to cover long distances. For long distances they have strong legs. Camel have large legs, but they have strong legs. They have strong sense of smell, sharp eyesight, sharp teeth, strong claws to catch their prey. So they can easily, if they are able to catch prey, then only they are surviving at there, because for survival what is necessary? Food. So they are catching their prey easily. Next one is adaptation in fish. Fish have streamlined body. Now you must know what is the meaning of word streamlined. Streamlined. It means it is broader at wide. At this part the body of the fish is broader, and at edges it's sharp. This is the meaning of word streamlined. They have a streamlined body to move smoothly through water. They are able to move properly. Then is they have scales to protect from getting wet. Like this way they have scales. As you can see in this picture, they have scales. Then fins. What is the function of these fins they have? It helps them to swim. Then they have gills to absorb oxygen dissolved in water. What is the function of gills? It helps them to absorb dissolved oxygen in water. Now again an interesting fact is there for you. Do you know crows are found all over the world? Which adaptation features help them to do so? Yes, they feed on wide range of food. Means they can eat what? They feed on large or wide range of food. Means they can eat insects, garden lizards, birds, eggs, dead animals, leftover food. Means whatever food they get, they just eat that. They don't like say we want to eat this, that. So that's why they are eating whatever they get it. They can live comfortably in cold, warm and wet conditions. So their body features are such that they don't feel like severe cold, severe hot. They just live comfortably. Now let's recall what we have discussed. We have discussed first about adaptation, then habitat, its types, then how animals are adapted to a particular climatic conditions, like how they can survive in mountains, deserts, how fish's body has adapted itself. So this is all about this chapter. Read it carefully and revise it. Thank you.